voila, 4 pieces done. So now, moving on to the next step would be just to clean up the edges and get that final fitting for the helmet. Right, there essentially is all the main pieces done for this helmet. Okay, so with the quarter panels for the Spangenhelm, I'm going to start, because I've got it rough shaped up, I want to start plannishing. Okay, for what I've got here is I've actually just taken a dumbbell and taken off the rubber and that, smoothed up the one side so I've got a nice smooth area around the shape to work on. That I've been using this for years, it works perfectly fine, and it's a good idea to start with. And I've just made a bracket to mount on so it stays on my hardy tool on my anvil. So another just quick thing I want to show you is when working, I know this is going to be a bit loud, but the sound that you can work on. So you can work on the sound that you know you're hammering correctly. So if you hear a very high pitched ping like such, that high pitched ping sounds that you know you're hitting on here, you're getting the full weight of everything behind it. As soon as you start hearing a hollow like such, I don't know if you can hear that properly, it's got a more dull, hollow sort of sound, you know that there's an air gap underneath, so then you need to readjust for the right shape. Now this shape is just a little bit too flat for what I need here, but the edges it will work on. So okay, now that I've showed you a video before on plannishing, so you can go back to that. That was the kettle helm that I made, that gives you a nice explanation on plannishing. But just quickly again, is you want a nice flat hammer with a flat surface, preferably quite a wide surface. Then what you're going to do is you're going to be hammering it over a flat or rounded shape like this. Obviously rounded, that's to the same shape as that, relatively to the same shape. And then you just carry on hammering, so you remove these high edges, so you obviously get these high edges from when hammering on this side, and you're just going to hammer it flat. That's why you want a large surface area, so that it will bring it down to the same area, so it all comes in and smooths down. Using a smaller face, you might ding it on the outside. The wider your face, the more chance it's going to be raised over it like such. And if you can see that, let's see, there we go. It's not focusing so lacquer. Let's see if it come here. That's a nice one. So you see, it's even it flats it out. This one's a bit round because it's a cheap hammer, so I need to make myself a new one because the face is a little bit, it's not flat enough for me, it's a bit rounded. So that's essentially what you want to do with your plannishing. And again, light blows, so repetitive light blows, working out in a circle or area going outwards. If you go too hard, what you'll find is you will start flattening the shape again, or you'll be warping the curve that you have on it. So very light blows, listen for that sound. So you've got, you know, it's if you start going hollow like that, you're definitely flattening out, you're going to warp your shape very quickly. So yeah, that's the basics of plannishing. Also a good thing to note is your hammer surface. So you can't really see the hammer surface there. This one's also, like I said, it's not a great hammer. You want a nice clean surface because whatever you're going to hammer on, it's going to imprint this surface onto your steel. So you would obviously want a nice big surface. I know you can buy hammers like, you know, proper plannishing hammer. They're called plannishing hammers. A lot of them they sell from jewelries or goldsmiths websites. You can find them. You'll find that it will be a very high polished surface. You can polish it yourself. You want a very high polished surface. Reason being for that is, again, it will then put a nice finish onto your steel that you're working on. Same thing goes for your anvil or your surface that you're hammering on. A nice clean smooth polished surface will help with the imprints on that side. Certainly you're doing it on the outside or so. That's a good thing to keep in mind. I just want to quickly grab something. This is also another great thing to get. I bought these. This is a 70mm ball, solid steel, just from a steel merchant. I bought it from them. It's relatively not expensive. I think this ball cost me what was it, about 50 rand. So in dollars, oh goodness, the dollar keeps changing so much. I don't know, maybe $8, I think. This is a great thing. I've got already one, a welder onto a stick, and then you've got a nice round surface it is. This is just a cast ball, I suspect. Cast or forged ball, so it's just normal steel. It's plenty hard enough. The one I've been using really hasn't flattened the shape. A lot of people would buy ball bearings. You get big ball bearings like this for massive bearings. You can use them. They work also quite well. I find the steel one is cheap, it's easy to use, and you know, if it does get damaged, you'll find the shape actually probably just the shape gets more the more you use it, more to a point where it actually works better. That's a good thing to use. I'm sure if you can find this, I know in America it's probably easier to get hold of something like this to use. I would suggest if you can't get that, get this on a nice big thick, maybe a 20mm round bar, and you weld it on top of it. You make a place where you put it in. I've put that one into my post vise. Works just as good. That's a good place to work on. So yeah, those are the two options. If you really got money and you're really invested in this, you can start using other hardy tools you get. You do get some nice ones, but this is good for beginners starting off and what you'll need for this helmet. All right. Okay, so now I've got my quarter panels all nicely planished out. They're all nice and smooth. And if you can see the planishing effect on it, there we go. So these are all been planished out. They fit in there very nicely. So yeah, okay, it's not perfect at the moment, but you'll see as we go along. So now I want to work out where I'm going to put them inside here. Okay, happy with that. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to measure out along the bottom here and along there, because there's going to be a layer of rivets obviously along the bottom and either side of these frame posts here. So we're going to take a tape measure. I'm going to measure this out, and then I'll see that about 17.5. Okay, let's say 17.5. How many do I want to put in here? Maybe 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Divide by 4. Give me about 4. Okay. This, 2, so 17. Now I just want to find a nice shape that will work for you. So it's about 5.8. If I work around there, I'm going to maybe put 1, 17 divided by 2 equals 8.5. Metal, and then 0.5 divided by 2 is 4.25. 4.25. Right, so I'm going to go around there the whole way around. That. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, okay, so those are measured as about 7-8 millimeters. So I'm going to mark all of these as the same. If you want to be spot on, I would make it 7.25. I'm just sort of rough calling it, you won't really notice the difference too much. Okay, there we go, all marked on there. Now obviously I'm going to mark the top posts here, these posts here, mark along there. So I've got all of them out, so I can just center punch them all, and I can punch them all out. So I'm getting the same distance here. So I'm just going to follow the same. Oh yeah. So I'm going to have one. At 8.5. And I'm also going to put one at the top here. Okay. These sides, I'm going to do a little bit of a different one. I'm going to give it about 1 centimeter down. There. 15. Sorry if you're not seeing, I'm trying to squeeze everything in so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So obviously I'm just going to do the spacing there on the sides now. Keep these quite close. Do them about 5 more from the edge. Okay, so now they're all marked up. Now I can just go over to center puncturing all of those holes. Great.